We're building a future that's going to be stronger in many ways. From a stronger focus on code enforcement to investing in public safety, and from doing all that we can to support existing businesses, and of course, to do all that we can to attract new businesses. Take for instance, and I believe these folks are here today, Great Lakes Industrial Environmental, who approached me approximately 60 days ago seeking Gary residents to become employed with their company. As a result of that conversation, that company will bring its heavy equipment to the city of Gary, specifically in the Glen Park area this weekend, and they will assist us in our citywide cleanup. I want to thank Jason Torres. Is Jason here today? I want to thank Jason Torres and his entire team for all of their efforts. But if anyone knows of someone who's looking for employment opportunity, they're still hiring. Jason has told me to pass the word along, and please contact City Hall and we'll put you directly in touch with Jason. While it's vitally important for all of us to support those business owners who've chosen to invest in our city, it's equally important to continue to find ways to attract new businesses to our city. We know that we have the Gary-Chicago International Airport here. And I'm pleased to report that under the leadership of Dwayne Hayden, they're doing incredible work. Last year, that's okay, you can give him a hand. He continues to work hard every day. Last year, as many of you know, we launched the start of UPS. And right now, they have generated more than 60 jobs for local residents, with more than 50,000 pounds of cargo coming through our city every day. In addition to that, we have a state-of-the-art customs and border facility there that has drawn nearly 200 international flights from 26 countries. And if that's not enough for you, I'm glad to report that Boeing recently renewed their lease for an additional term. But one of the greatest accomplishments that, and I'm sure Mr. Hayden and his staff are proud of, is that the staff recently earned a national recognition for training excellence. They were awarded this by the American Association of Airport Executives this summer, and in addition to that, they secured $3.5 million from the FAA and a grant to rehabilitate our runway. That work is going to employ an additional 60 local contractors, meaning more local jobs for local residents once again. Our economic development efforts have included partnerships with various companies who have sought to bring their business here. One in particular is Zurich Trucking. They want to become the city's largest employer, and also something that brings us tremendous pride and hope, they want to become one of our largest taxpayers. As they look to leave Hammond for Gary, we've identified the abandoned Ivanhoe and Edison sites as sites that are consistent with the city's master plan, as well as reusing available land. Before we brought them here, we looked into their environmental safety history. We received feedback from the existing residents in the neighborhood in which they reside, and we recognize the incredible opportunity that Zurich Trucking will make right here in the city of Gary as they make us their new home. We look forward to continuing to work with Zurich, and again, it's at no cost to the taxpayers of Gary. Gary is going to be a great place for anyone who wants to be a corporate partner and a good neighbor for generations to come. With several requests for additional funds, and through our strong working relationships with Congressman Frank Mervan, the Northwest Indiana Forum, NERPC, our city administration recognizes the role that we have to play if we want to continue to keep that pride and to continue growing. And I'm proud to say that we have prioritized our work here in the city to eliminate blight. We've issued a number of citations for illegal dumping, that is, as well as acquiring abandoned properties so that they could be demolished. So now we're going through a process to acquire more than 100 properties through the tax sale process. 72 of these properties are in the Etna neighborhood, which is adjacent to the Double Track project. There, we're focused on a pilot program that allows citizens and investors the opportunity to buy these properties. We believe that this initiative will increase the city's tax base for many years to come. But across the city, we're working with other organizations such as the Gary Housing Authority under the leadership of Terrell Bonds. Also, Habitat for Humanity has been extremely active with our city. And many other corporate and civic-minded partners that have signed up to help us not only reimagine our city, but to eliminate blight through the demolition of abandoned properties so that we can provide the space and the impetus for those who want to locate their business in our cities. So far this year, we've demolished 40 structures, with 15 more scheduled for next month. We also continue to make improvements right here in this beautiful stadium. And I can't thank you all enough for coming out to take a look at it, to enjoy everything that it has to offer. But most of all, I'd like you to share that information with all of your friends and family members and let them know that the Railcat Stadium is looking better than ever, and yes, we are in business. Making the necessary investment here helps to keep this a world-class facility. It attracts visitors here and has done so for the last 2 decades. Those beautification efforts that I spoke about will continue with our facade improvement rebate program, which has already seen improvements completed along Lake Street. We are working every day with members of our Common Council to determine and identify what they consider to be potential jewel parks in their areas. We are committed to prioritizing the redevelopment of those parks so that all residents and visitors alike can enjoy them to their fullest potential. But we also recognize that Miller Beach plays an important role in our community, and its role in the Miller transit-oriented development districts that we are now establishing will continue to encourage commercial as well as residential investments to be built around transit on the Lake Street corridor. This is all part of an updated comprehensive plan that we have that replaces our existing zoning codes and ensures consistency in any future development that occurs here in the city. And I think this is something that we all can be proud of and look forward to. Incidentally, We'll be using some of the funds that we received under the ARPA, or the American Rescue Plan Act, to provide additional assistance to individuals and businesses as well. The initiation of the Guaranteed Income Validation effort is something that started about 4 months ago, but this is a guaranteed income program based upon other mayor-led programs across the country, including Stockton, California, where it originated. This program in Gary will fund 125 randomly selected residents who were participating in this program, and they will receive $500 a month for 12 months, which has no conditions attached. We're aiming to test a simple yet innovative solution to poverty and inequality. Give seeks to reduce income volatility, something that many of our poor households faces on a daily basis. And this opportunity will provide them with economic stability that can change their circumstances tremendously. I'd like to give you some preliminary stats from that program that have already occurred in the short time that it's been present. In 4 months, there have been 26 of the 125 participants who were previously unemployed. They've been able to restore themselves to employment, in some instances more gainful employment than they had previously. One person shared a story about being able to repair their vehicle, which allowed them to not only get to the employment that he presently had, but to seek, as I said, more gainful employment. 30 of those persons were previously persons who didn't have a bank account. These individuals now have started bank accounts, and 80 of them have enrolled in the Money Matters classes to better manage their financial resources. Give those folks a hand. I'm pleased to report that 4 of them have actually opened new businesses here in the city. And 3 are seeking to further their education and have enrolled in Indiana University Northwest. I'm extremely anxious to see the final outcomes of this program, and I'm convinced that just a small financial boost can change the course of lives for many people, ultimately decreasing the amount of people living in poverty right here in our city. As you can see, even in the faces of unprecedented changes and challenges, we are poised to take this city to the next level. We've made significant progress, as I mentioned earlier, and I'm incredibly proud of all we have been able to accomplish in the last 21 months. I'm especially proud because we have accomplished these things together. That said, we all know that we have much more work to do. Whether it's economic development, public safety, infrastructure, community events, job creation, or ensuring that your tax dollars are spent responsibly, it is important that we continue to build upon all that we have accomplished, and yes, together. The challenges that our cities face will not change overnight, and they will not change by one person alone. It will continue to require all of us working together to bring about the type of change that we all want to see. When I took office in January of 2020, I was confident that we could make those changes. Today, I'm even more confident. You might ask why. And that's because of people like Eddie Victorian and other people like Marcella Gregory and people like the 14-year-old girl that I met who had gloves on and a garbage bag and was out single-handedly picking up litter in her community. And yes, because of people like all of you here today. Together, we are addressing the little things, which for far too many years were allowed to turn into big things. That cannot and will not happen again. By focusing on the little things, by fixing what's right in front of us, we are building a foundation. And from that foundation, we can take steps forward and make an even brighter future for this city that we all love. I look forward to taking those steps together with each of you. I want to thank you again to all of the elected officials who've come this afternoon, to all of our business leaders and community members. Please understand that we cannot do this without you. I appreciate each of you, and I am grateful for your continued support. Continue to reimagine Gary. Thank you.